And the Department of Education is also on the chopping block. President Trump seemingly ready to sign an executive order to shut it down. On Thursday, the president reiterated that he wants states to run the schools, not Washington, which he can only do with Congress's approval. Disassembling it would mean dismantling Title I, anti-discrimination policies, assistance for low-income students, free lunches, a whole lot more. I'm now joined by Becky Pringle, president of the National Education Association. Becky, thank you so much for taking the time with me this morning.
It's good to be with you, Markie.
So President Trump is reportedly preparing an executive order to dissolve the Department of Education. I know Secretary Linda McMahon was just on air on another network here in the past hour saying he's preparing to do so. Just your thoughts on that, and what do those impacts actually look like on schools?
So, Markie, let's be clear. From Inauguration Day, Donald Trump has been very, very clear about his intent to fully implement Project 2025. And as part of that project, it is the dismantling of the Department of Education. We know the impact that will have on real students, real schools, real educators and families across this country, because we've already seen it happening. Cuts to services for our most vulnerable students, our students living in poverty, those students with disabilities. We're already seeing, you just talked about the cuts to Medicaid, where the majority of our students get their health care. That all impacts their ability to come to school ready to learn every day. So these cuts are coming. They are real. They are actually here. And we, educators and parents across this country, are fighting back.
And let me, play some sound for you, because we heard some of President Trump's reasoning behind his plans for the department in the Oval Office on Thursday. Take a listen.
I want to bring the schools back to the states. We're ranked at the bottom of the list, and yet we spend more. We're ranked #1 for cost per student. We're ranked at the bottom of the list in education.
Yeah, Becky, let me just ask you frankly, what is so problematic with handing it back to the states? Are they not equipped to do the job?
Well, Markie, let me be clear. There is a role for every level of government to play when we talk about every student, everyone having access and opportunity so they can learn. So the president's plan to actually give all of the federal government money to states is problematic. First of all, we know the role of the federal government has been in the Department of Education to close those gaps between those students who have less. We know that this Department of Education is designed to protect the civil rights of our students. And we know that if money is sent to the states, that does not mean they have to spend it on education. They could supplant that money and provide fewer resources for our students. These are the concerns that educators and parents and the students themselves are lifting up, so that we together are pushing back on these plans.
And Becky, while I still have you, let me just ask you one more question here and just dig into the numbers a little bit. Since the start of the Education Department, we've seen over $2 trillion in discretionary spending, yet average test scores have largely stayed stagnant. What needs to change? What's your solution?
Those test scores show what they always show. They've always shown the same thing. Students who have more resources do better. So the last thing we need to do is take resources away from our public schools. Markie, I taught 8th grade science for 31 years, and I know that our students need those additional one-on-one supports. They need smaller class sizes. They need technology that allows them to be competitive in this world. They need more support, not less.
Well, we'll see if that executive order gets signed today, and the ripple effects, domino effects to come from there. Becky Pringle, got to end it there. Thank you for your time, ma'am. Greatly appreciated.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.